Hello, my name is Austin Habish, the founder of Think Catholic, and you're listening to the Summa podcast, where we study St. Thomas Aquinas' Summa Theologiae in a way simple and insightful for anyone to understand. The Summa podcast is brought to you by Think Catholic. Taking 2 questions of the Summa a day, we'll seek to summarize St. Thomas's responses, discovering the brilliance of Aquinas. And his Catholic faith is day 201. So let's get started. We're covering today questions 166 and 167 of the Secundae, that is, of studiousness and of curiosity. The translation that I always use in these podcasts is the one generously provided to me by Ave Maria Press, the 5-volume set translated by the Fathers of the English Dominican province, which you can now get at a discounted price from Ave Maria Press's site by typing in the code SUMMA10. And so here we go. Article 1, whether the proper matter of studiousness is knowledge. As it is written in the book of Proverbs, as translated in the Douay-Rheims, study wisdom, my son, and make my heart joyful, that thou mayest give an answer to him that reproacheth, which is similar to the implicit command to study given in 1 Peter, to always be prepared, to make a defense to anyone who calls you to account for the hope that is in you. Study then concerns gathering knowledge, like gathering the particular historical facts, fundamental truths requisite to make a cogent defense of the Christian religion, as St. Peter calls for. Aquinas will then, within the article, define study as the keen application of the mind to something, which is to search out, first of all, what a thing is, to be able to grasp the essence of that which is being studied. This is the primary object of the virtue of studiousness, knowing the thing under study, so knowledge, which is the question of this article. Article 2, whether studiousness is a part of temperance. Just as human beings have a natural desire for food and reproduction as animal, so too as rational we have a natural desire to know things. And just as a virtue is requisite to keep in check the desire for food or venereal pleasure, so too we stand in need of a virtue to moderate our desire for knowledge as well. So in response to our article, since temperance is about curbing desire, which is what studiousness is about, yet with an easier object of desire to resist than temperance, then studiousness is an annexed virtue to temperance. And although this virtue denotes primarily a curbing of inordinate desire to know, it also, by bestowing moderate desire for knowledge, assists a man fight off the flesh when he may be tempted to study less than he ought to. As St. Thomas puts it, on the part of the soul, man is inclined to desire knowledge of things, and so it behooves him to exercise a praiseworthy restraint on this desire, lest he seek knowledge immoderately, whereas on the part of his body, his bodily nature, man is inclined to avoid the trouble of seeking knowledge. Accordingly, as regards the first inclination, studiousness is a kind of restraint, and it is in this sense that it is reckoned a part of temperance. But as to the second inclination, this virtue derives its praise from a certain keenness of interest in seeking knowledge of things, and from this it takes its name. Moving then to the vice opposed to studiousness, we arrive at question 167 of curiosity. Article 1, whether curiosity can be about intellective knowledge. Although knowledge, like food, like possessions, are not evil in themselves, they become evil if the desire for them and the use of them is not directed towards our true goal, which is heaven, or following the true means to that goal, which is imitation of Christ. The vice of curiosity then pertains to the desire for knowledge, which is simply for the sake of vainglory, or really any other goal not ultimately set on God and neighbor, or if the study be carried out on lesser things in avoidance of the greater things which one ought to be actually studying, or if one be studying something simply beyond them, futile for them to try and grasp at this time. There is also the vice of curiosity, which would also be a kind of superstition, such as seeking knowledge through the demons, which we covered back on the virtues opposed to religion. In a word, summarizing how study can be vicious, Aquinas writes here, man's good consists in the knowledge of truth, yet man's sovereign good consists not in the knowledge of any truth, but in the perfect knowledge of the sovereign truth. Hence there may be sin in the knowledge of certain truths, insofar as the desire of such knowledge is not directed in due manner to the knowledge of the sovereign truth, wherein supreme happiness consists. Article 2 in our last article, whether the vice of curiosity is about sensitive knowledge. Is curiosity about the knowledge of created sensible things, like knowing creatures or the material world around us or the facts about some certain person or nation or the like? And it is, if the pursuit of this knowledge be intemperate or vicious, yet it can also be virtuous, too, as Aquinas says here. If one be ordinately intent on the knowledge of sensible things by reason of the necessity of sustaining nature, or for the sake of the study of intelligible truth, this studiousness about the knowledge of sensible things is virtuous. And so in response to our article, sensitive knowledge can be the object of the vice of curiosity or of the virtue of studiousness, depending on what knowledge is being pursued, in what manner, and for what reason it is being pursued. And with that, we close another episode. We have just finished covering questions 166 and 167 of the Secunda Secundae, that is, of studiousness and of curiosity. My name is Austin Habish with Think Catholic, and I cannot wait to see you tomorrow.